Book of Genesis, Chapter 8, until my voice gets tired. And God remembered Noah, and every living thing, and all the cattle that were with him in the ark. And God made a wind pass over the earth, and the waters were assuaged. The fountains also of the deep, and the windows of heaven were stopped, and the rain from heaven were restrained, and the waters returned from off the earth continually. And after the end of 150 days, the waters were abated. And the ark rested on the 7th month, on the 17th day of the month, upon the mountains of Ararat. And the waters decreased continually until the 10th month. In the 10th month, on the 1st day of the month, were the tops of the mountains seen. And it came to pass at the end of 40 days that Noah opened the window of the ark which he had made. And he sent forth a raven, which went forth to and fro, until the waters were dried up from off the earth. Also he sent forth a dove from him, to see if the waters were abated from off the face of the ground. But the dove found no rest for the sole of her foot, and she returned unto him into the ark, for the waters were on the face of the whole earth. Then he put forth his hand and took her, and pulled her in unto him into the ark. And he stayed yet another 7 days. And again he sent forth the dove out of the ark. And the dove came into him in the evening, and lo, in her mouth was an olive leaf, plucked off. So Noah knew that the waters were abated from off the earth. And he stayed yet another 7 days, and sent forth the dove, which returned not again unto him any more. And it came to pass in the 601st year, in the 1st month, and the 1st day of the month, the waters were dried up from off the earth. And Noah removed the covering of the ark, and looked, and behold, the face of the ground was dry. And in the 2nd month, on the 7th and 20th day of the month, was the earth dried. And God spoke to Noah, saying, Go forth from the ark, thou and thy wife, and thy sons wives with thee. Bring forth with thee every living thing that is with thee, of all flesh, both of fowl and of cattle, and of every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth, that they may breed abundantly on the earth, and be fruitful, and multiply upon the earth. And Noah went forth, and his sons, and his wife, and his sons' wives with him, every beast, every creeping thing, every fowl, and whatsoever creepeth upon the earth after their kinds went forth out of the ark. And Noah built an altar unto the Lord, and took of every clean beast, and of every clean fowl, and offered burnt offerings on the altar. And the Lord smelled the sweet savor. And the Lord said in his heart, I will not again curse the ground any more for man's sake. For in the imagination of man's heart is evil from his youth. Neither will I again smite any more every thing living as I have done. While the earth remaineth, seedtime and harvest, and cold and heat, summer and winter, and day and night shall not cease. Chapter 9. And God blessed Noah and his sons, and said unto them, Be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth. And the fear of you and dread of you shall be upon every beast of the earth, and upon every fowl of the air, upon all that moveth upon the earth, and upon all the fishes of the sea. Into your hand are they delivered. Every moving thing that liveth shall be meat for you. Even as the green herb have I given all things, but flesh with the life thereof, which is the blood thereof, shall ye not eat. And surely your blood of your lives will I require. At the hand of every beast will I require it, and at the hand of man, at the hand of every man's brother, will I require the life of man. Whosoever sheddeth man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed. For in the image of God made he man. And you, be ye fruitful and multiply, bring forth abundantly in the earth, and multiply therein. And God spoke unto Noah, and to his sons with him, saying, And I, behold, I establish my covenant with you, and with your seed after you, and with every living creature that is with you, of the fowl, of the cattle, and of every beast of the earth with you, from all that go out of the ark to every beast of the earth. And I will establish my covenant with you. Neither shall all flesh be cut off any more by the waters of the flood, neither shall there be any more, neither shall all flesh be cut off any more by the waters of the flood, neither shall there any more be a flood to destroy all earth. And God said, This is a token of the covenant which I make between me and you and every living creature that is with you for perpetual generations. I do set my rainbow in the cloud, and it shall be for a token of a covenant between me and the earth. And it shall come to pass, when I bring a cloud over the earth, and it shall come to pass, when I bring a cloud over the earth, that the rainbow shall be seen in the cloud, and I will remember my covenant, which is between me and you and every living creature of all flesh, and the waters shall no more become a flood to destroy all flesh, and the rainbow shall be in the cloud, and I will look upon it and remember the everlasting covenant between God and every living creature of all flesh that is upon the earth. And God said unto Noah, This is the token of the covenant which I have established between me and all flesh that is upon the earth. And the sons of Noah who went forth from the ark were Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And Ham is the father of Canaan. And these are the 3 sons of Noah, and from them was the whole earth overspread. And Noah began to be a husbandman, and he planted a vineyard. And he drank of the wine, and was drunken, and he was uncovered within his tent. And Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of his father, and told his 2 brethren outside. And Shem and Japheth took a garment, and laid it upon their shoulders, and went backward, and covered the nakedness of their father, and their faces were turned away, and they saw not their father's nakedness. And Noah awoke from his wine, and knew what his younger son had done unto him. And he said, Cursed be Canaan, a servant of servants shall he be unto his brethren. And he said, Blessed be the Lord God of Shem, and Canaan shall be his servant. God shall enlarge Japheth, and he shall dwell in the tents of Shem, and Canaan shall be his servant. And Noah lived after the flood 350 years. So all the days of Noah were 950 years, and he died. Chapter 10. These are the generations of the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And unto them were sons born after the flood. The sons of Japheth, Gomer, and Magog, and Madai, and Javan, and Tubal, and Meshach, and Tiras. And the sons of Gomer, Ashkenaz, Riphath, and Togarmah. And the sons of Jovan, Elisha, and Tarshish, Kittim, Dodanim, By these were the isles of the Gentiles divided into their lands, every one after his own tongue, according to their families, into their nations. The sons of Ham, Cush, and Mizraim, and Put, and Canaan. The sons of Cush, Sheba, and Hivilah, and Sabta, and Ramah, and Sabtecha. The sons of Ramah, Sheba, and Dedan. And Cush begot Nimrod, and he began to be a mighty one on the earth. He was a mighty hunter before the Lord. Therefore it is said, even as Nimrod, the mighty hunter before the Lord. And the beginning of his kingdom was Babel, and Iraq, and Akkad, and Calneh, the land of Shinar. Out of that land he went forth to Assyria, and built Nineveh, and the city Rehoboth, and Calah, and Rezin, between Nineveh and Calah, and the same is a great city. And Mizraim begot Ludan, and Anamim, and Lahabim, and Naphtuim, and Nathshim, and Caslahim, out of whom came the Philistines, and Caphtorim. And Canaan begot Siddim his firstborn, and Heth, and the Jebusite, and the Amorite, and the Girgasite, and the Hivite, and the Archite, and the Sinite, and the Arvadite, and the Zemarite, and the Hamorite. And afterward were the families of the Canaanites spread abroad, and the border of Canaanites were from Sidon to the, as thou comest to Gerar unto Gaza, and as thou goest unto Sodom and Gomorrah, and Admah, and Zeboim, even unto Lasha. These are the sons of Ham, according to their families, according to their tongues, in their countries and in their nations. Unto Shem, also the father of the children of Eber, the brother of Japheth the elder, even to him were children born. The children of Shem, Elam, Asher, Arphaxad, Lud, and Aram. The children of Aram, Uz, and Hul, and Gether, and Mash. And Arphaxad begot Salah, and Salah begot Eber. And unto Eber were born two sons. The name of one was Peleg, for in his days the earth divided. And his brother's name was Joktan. And Joktan begot Almadad, and Shelephath, and Hazarmaveth, and Jerah, and Hadaram, and Uzal, and Diklah, and Obal, Abimel, and Sheba, and Ophir, and Hivilah, and Jobab, and these are the sons of Joktan. And their dwellings were from Mesha, as thou goest unto Shephar, and a mount to the east. These are the sons of Shem, according to their families, according to their tongues, in their lands, according to their nations. These are the families of the sons of Noah, according to their generations, in their nations. And by these are the nations divided on the earth after the flood. Chapter 11. And the whole earth was of one language of one speech. And it came to pass, as they journeyed from the east, that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. And they said to one another, Come, let us make bricks, and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone, slime for mortar. They said, Come, let us build us a city, and a tower, whose top may reach unto heaven. Let us make a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. And the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the children of men built. And the Lord said, Behold, the people are one, and they all have one language. And this they began to do. And now nothing will be withheld from them which they have imagined to do. Come, let us go down, and there confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. So the Lord scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of all the earth, and they left off building the city. Therefore the name of it is called Babel, that is, confusion, because the Lord did there confound the language of all the earth. And from thence did the Lord scatter them abroad upon the face of all the earth. These are the generations of Shem. Shem was 100 years old, and begot Arphaxad 2 years after the flood. And Shem lived after he begot Arphaxad 500 years, and begot sons and daughters. Arphaxad lived 35 years, and begot Salah. Arphaxad lived after he begot Salah 403 years, and begot sons and daughters. And Salah lived 30 years, and begot Eber. And Salah lived after he begot Eber 403 years, and begot sons and daughters. Eber lived 34 years, and begot Peleg. And Eber lived after he begot Peleg 430 years, and begot sons and daughters. And Peleg lived 30 years, and begot Reu. And Peleg lived after he begot Reu 209 years, and begot sons and daughters. And Reu lived 32 years, and begot Serug. And Reu lived after he begot Serug 207 years, and begot sons and daughters. Serug lived 30 years, and begot Nahor. Serug lived after he begot Nahor 229 years, and begot Terah. Sons and daughters. Nahor lived 29 years, begot Terah. And Nahor lived 29 years, and begot Terah. And Nahor lived after he begot Terah 119 years, and begot sons and daughters. And Terah lived 70 years, and begot Abraham, Nahor, and Haran. Okay, I guess there's 2 Nahors. Okay, that confused me for a minute. Now, these are the generations of Terah. Terah begot Abram, Nahor, and Haran. And Haran begot Lot. And Haran died before his father Terah in the land of his nativity in Ur of the Chaldeans. And Abram and Nahor took for themselves wives. The name of Abram's wife was Sarai, the name of Nahor's wife Milcah, the daughter of Haran, the father of Milcah and the father of Ishkah. But Sarai was barren, she had no child. And Terah took Abram his son, and Lot, son of Haran, his son's son, and Sarai, his daughter-in-law, son of his son Abram's wife, and they went forth with them from Ur of Chaldean to go into the land of Canaan, and they came unto Haran and dwelt thence. And the days of Terah were 205 years, and Terah died in Haran. Chapter 12. Now the Lord had said to Abram, Get thee out of thy country, from thy kindred, and from thy father's house, unto the land I will show you. I will make of thee a great nation. I will bless thee, and make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing. And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse him that curse thee. And in thee shall all families of earth be blessed. So Abram departed as the Lord had spoken unto him, and Lot went with him. And Abram was 75 years old when he departed out of Haran. And Abram took Sarai his wife, and Lot his brother's son, and all their substance that they had gathered, and the souls whom they had gotten in Haran, and they went forth to go to the land of Canaan, and into the land of Canaan they came. And Abram passed through the land unto a place of Shechem, unto the plain of Moreh, and the Canaanites were then in the land. And the Lord appeared unto Abram and said, Unto thy seed will I give this land. And there he built an altar unto the Lord, who appeared unto him. And he removed from thence unto a mountain on the east of Bethel, and pitched his tent, having Bethel on the west, and Ai on the east. And there he built an altar unto the Lord, and called upon the name of the Lord. And Abram journeyed, going still toward the south. And there was famine in the land, and Abram went down into Egypt and sojourned there. And the famine was grievous in the land. And it came to pass, when he had come near to enter Egypt, he said unto Sarai his wife, Behold now, I know that thou art a fair woman to look upon. Therefore it shall come to pass, when the Egyptians see thee, they shall say that this is his wife, and they will kill me. But they shall save thee alive. Say, I pray thee, thou art my sister, that it be well with me for thy sake, and my soul shall live because of thee. And it came to pass, when Abram had come into Egypt, that the Egyptians beheld the woman, and that she was very fair. The princes also of Pharaoh saw her, and commended her before Pharaoh, and the woman was taken unto Pharaoh's house. And he treated Abram well for her sake. And he had sheep and oxen, and he-asses, and manservants, and maidservants, she-asses, and camels. And the Lord plagued Pharaoh and his house with great plagues because of Sarai, Abram's wife. And Pharaoh called Abram, and said, What is this thou hast done unto me? Why didst thou not tell me that she was thy wife? Why saidst thou, She is my sister? So I might have taken her to me for a wife. Now therefore, behold thy wife, take her, and go thy way. And Pharaoh commanded his men concerning him. And they sent him away with his wife, and all that he had. Chapter 13. And Abram went up out of Egypt, he and his wife, and all they had, and Lot with him, into the south. And Abram was very rich in cattle, in silver and gold. And he went on his journeys from the south even to Bethel, unto the place where his tent had been in the beginning, between Bethel and Ai, unto the place of the altar which he had made there at the first. There Abram called the name of the Lord. And Lot also, who went with Abram, had flocks and herds and tents. And the land was not able to bear them, that they might dwell together, for their substance was great, so that they could not dwell together. And there was strife between the herdsmen of Abram's cattle and the herdsmen of Lot's cattle, and the Canaanites and the Perizzites dwelled in the land. And Abram said to Lot, Let there be no strife, I pray thee, between me and thee, and between my herdsmen and thy herdsmen, for we are brethren. Is not the whole land before thee? Separate thyself, I pray thee, from me. If thou would take the left hand, I will go to the right. Or if thou depart to the right, I will go to the left. And Lot lifted up his eyes, and beheld the plain of Jordan, and it was well watered everywhere, before the Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, even as the gardens of the Lord, like the land of Egypt, as thou comest into Zoar. Then Lot chose for himself all the plain of Jordan, and Lot journeyed east, and they separated themselves, the one from the other. Abram dwelled in the land of Canaan, and Lot dwelled in the cities of the plain, and pitched his tent toward Sodom. But the men of Sodom were wicked and sinners before the Lord exceedingly. And the Lord said unto Abram after Lot was separated from him, Lift up now thine eyes, and look from the place where thou art, northward and southward, and eastward and westward. For all the land which thou seest, to thee will I give it, and to thy seed forever. And I will make thy seed as the dust of the earth, so that if man can number the dust of the earth, then shall thy seed be also numbered. Arise, walk through the land in the length of it, and the breadth of it, for I will give it unto thee. Then Abram removed his tent, and came to dwell in the plains of Mamre, which is in Hebron, and built there an altar unto the Lord. Chapter 14. And it came to pass, in the days of Amraphel, king of Shinar, Arak, king of Elasar, Chedorlaomer, king of Elam, and Tidal, king of nations, that these made war with Bera, king of Sodom, and Bersha, king of Gomorrah, Shinab, king of Admah, and Shemember, king of Zeboim, and the king of Bela, which is Zoar. All these were joined together in the vale of Siddim, which is the salt sea. 12 years they served Chedorlaomer, and in the 13th year they rebelled. And in the 14th year came Chedorlaomer and the kings that were with him, and smote the Rephaim, and in Asheroth, Kurnaim, and the Zuzim in Ham, and the Emim in Shaven Kirathim, and the Horites and their Mount Seir, unto El Paran, which is by the wilderness. And they returned and came to En Mishpat, which is Kadesh, and smote all the country of the Amalekites, and also the Amorites, who dwelt in Hazeron Tamar. And there went out the king of Sodom, and the king of Gomorrah, and the king of Admah, and the king of Zeboim, and the king of Bela, the same as Zoar. And they joined battle with them in the vale of Siddim, and against Chedorlaomer, the king of Elam, and against Tidal, king of nations, and Amraphel, king of Shinar, and Arak, king of Elishar, 4 kings against 5. And the vale of Siddim was full of slime pits, and the kings of Siddim and Gomorrah fled and fell there, and those who remained fled to the mountain. And they took all the goods of Sodom and Gomorrah, and all their victuals, and went their way. And they took Lot, Abram's brother's son, who dwelt in Sodom, and his goods and departed. And there came one who had escaped and told Abram the Hebrew, for he dwelt in the plain of Mamre, the Amorite, brother of Eshcol, brother of Anar, and those were confederate with Abram. And when Abram heard that his brother's son, was taken captive, he armed his trained servants, born in his own house, which was 318 men, and pursued them into Dan, and he divided himself against them, he and his servants by night, and smote them and punished them into Hobah, which is on the left hand of Damascus. And he brought back all the goods, and also brought back his brother's son Lot, and his goods, and the women also, and the people. And the king of Sodom went out to meet him in the valley of Shavah, which is the king's dale, after his return from the slaughter of Chedorlaomer, and of the kings who were with him. And Melchizedek, king of Salem, brought forth bread and wine. And he was the priest of the Most High God. And he blessed him and said, Blessed be Abram of the Most High God, possessor of heaven and earth, and blessed be the Most High God, who hath delivered thine enemies into thine hand. And he gave him tithes of all. And the king of Sodom said unto Abram, Give me the persons, and take the goods for thyself. And Abram said to the king of Sodom, I have lifted up mine hand unto the Lord, the Most High God, the possessor of heaven and earth, that I will not take from a thread, even a shoe strap, and I will not take anything that is thine, lest thou shouldst say, I have made Abram rich, except only that which the young men have eaten, and the portion of the men whom went with me, Anar, Eshcol, and Mamre, let them take their portion. Chapter 15. After these things the word of the Lord came to Abram in a vision, saying, Fear not, Abram, I am thy shield, and thy exceeding great reward. And Abram said, Lord God, what wilt thou give, seeing I go childless, and the steward of my house is this Eliezer of Damascus? And Abram said, Behold, to me thou hast given no seed, and lo, one born of my house is mine heir. And behold, the word of the Lord came unto him, saying, This shall not be thine heir, but he that shall come from out of thine own loins shall be thine heir. And he brought him outdoors, and said, Look now toward heaven, and count the stars, if thou be able to number them. And he said unto him, So shall thy seed be. And he believed in the Lord, and he accounted it to him for righteousness. And he said unto him, I am the Lord who brought thee out of Ur of Chaldees, and give thee this land to inherit it. And he said, Lord God, whereby shall I know that I shall inherit it? And he said unto him, Take me a heifer of 3 years old, and a she-goat of 3 years old, and a ram of 3 years old, and a turtle dove, and a young pigeon. And he took unto him all these, and divided them in the midst, and laid each piece one against another, but the birds divided he not. And when the fowls came down upon the carcasses, Abram drove them away. And when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abram, and lo, a horror of great darkness fell upon him. And he said unto Abram, Know of surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. And also that nation whom they shall serve I will judge, and afterwards shall they come out with great substance, and shall go by thy fathers in peace, and shall go to thy fathers in peace. Thou shalt be buried at a good old age. But In the 4th generation they shall come hither again, for the iniquity of the Amorite is not yet full. Oh, sorry. Nope. Oh, that's right. But the iniquity of the Amorites is not yet full. And it came to pass that when the sun went down, it was dark. Behold, a smoking furnace and a burning lamp passed between those pieces. And on the same day the Lord made a covenant with Abram, saying, Unto thy seed have I given this land, from the river Egypt unto the great river, the river Euphrates, the Kenites, the Kezanites, the Chemonites, the Hittites, the Perizzites, the Rephaim, and the Amorites, and the Canaanites, the Girgashites, and the Jebusites. Chapter 16. That's better. I meant right there. Chapter 16. Now Sarai, Abram's wife, bore him no children. She had a handmaid, an Egyptian, whose name was Hagar. And Sarai said unto Abram, Behold now, the Lord hath restrained me from bearing. I pray thee, go in unto my maid. It may be that I may obtain children by her. And Abram hearkened unto the voice of Sarai. And Sarai, Abram's wife, took Hagar, her maid, the Egyptian, after Abram had dwelt 10 years in the land of Canaan, and gave her to her husband Abram to be his wife. And he went in unto Hagar, and she conceived. And when she saw that she had conceived, her mistress was despised in her eyes. And Sarai said unto Abram, My wrong be upon thee. I have given my maid into thy bosom. And she saw that she had conceived, I was despised in her eyes. The Lord judge between me and thee. But Abram said to Sarai, Behold, the maid is in thy hand. Do to her as thy pleasest thee. When Sarai dealt harshly with her, she fled from her face. And the angel of the Lord found her by a fountain of water in the wilderness, by the fountain in the way to Shur. And he said, Hagar, Sarai's maid, whence comest thou, and whither wilt thou go? She said, I flee from the face of my mistress Sarai. And the angel of the Lord said unto her, Return unto thy mistress, and submit thyself into her hands. And the angel of the Lord said to her, I will multiply thy seed exceedingly, and it shall not be numbered for a multitude. And the angel of the Lord said to her, Behold, thou art with child, and shalt bear a son, and shall call his name Ishmael, that is, God shall bear, because the Lord hath heard thy affliction. And he will be a wild man, his hand will be against every man, and every man's hand against him. And he shall dwell in the presence of all his brethren. And she called the name of the Lord. And she called the name of the Lord who spoke with her, Thou God seest me. For she said, Have I also here looked upon him that seeth me? Therefore the well was called Ber-la-Havoi, that is, the well of him that liveth and see me. Behold, it is between Kadesh and Bered. And Hagar bore Abram a son, and Abram called his son's name, who Hagar bore him, Ishmael. And Abram was 86 years old when Hagar bore Ishmael to Abram. Chapter 17. And when Abram was 90 years old and 9, the Lord appeared to Abram and said to him, I am the Almighty God. Walk before me, and be thou perfect, and I will make my covenant between me and thee, and I will multiply thee exceedingly. And Abram fell on his face, and God talked with him, saying, As for me, behold, my covenant is with thee, and thou shalt be a father of many nations. Neither shall thy name any more be called Abram, but thy name shall be Abraham, for a father of many nations have I made thee. And I will make thee exceedingly fruitful, and I will make nations of thee, and kings shall come out of thee. And I will establish my covenant between me and thee, and thy seed after thee, in their generations, for an everlasting covenant, to be a God unto thee, and to thy seed after thee. And I will give unto thee, and to thy seed after thee, the land wherein thou art a stranger, and the land of Canaan, for all everlasting possession, and I will be their God. And God said unto Abram, Thou shalt keep my covenant. Therefore, thou and thy seed after thee in all their generations. This is my covenant which ye shall keep between me and you, and thy seed after thee. Every man child among you shall be circumcised, and ye shall circumcise the flesh of your foreskin, and it shall be a token of the covenant between me and you. And he that is 8 days old shall be circumcised among you, every man child in your generations, he that is born in the house, or bought with money from any stranger, who is not of thy seed. He that is born in thy house, and he that is bought with the money must be circumcised, and my covenant shall be in your flesh for an everlasting covenant. And the uncircumcised man-child, whose flesh of his foreskin is not circumcised, that soul shall be cut off from his people. He hath broken my covenant. And God said unto Abraham, As for Sarai thy wife, thou shalt not call her name Sarai, but Sarah shall her name be. And I will bless her, and give her a son also by her. Give thee a son also by her. Yea, I will bless her, and she will be a mother of nations. Kings of people shall be of her. Then Abraham fell on his face and laughed, and said in his heart, Shall a child be born unto him that is 100 years old? And shall Sarah, who is 90 years old, bear? And Abraham said unto God, Oh, that Ishmael might live before thee. And God said, Sarah thy wife shall bear thee a son indeed, and thou shalt call his name Isaac. And I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant, and with his seed after him. As for Ishmael, I have heard thee. Behold, I have blessed him, and will make him fruitful, and will multiply him exceedingly. 12 princes will he beget, and I will make him a great nation. But my covenant will I establish with Isaac, whom Sarah will bear unto thee at this set time in the next year. And he let off talking to him, and God went up from Abraham, and Abraham took Ishmael his son, and all that were born in his house, and all that were brought from his money, with his money, every male among the men of Abraham's house, and circumcised the flesh of their foreskin in the selfsame day, as God had said unto him. And Abraham was 90 years old and 9 when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin. And Ishmael his son was 13 years old when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin. And the selfsame day was Abraham circumcised. And Ishmael his son, and all the men of his house born in the house, and bought with money from the stranger, were circumcised with him.